Good evening, Knicks Nation. Welcome to our next edition of Sky Hoops Knicks Dreams. To join the conversation, drop your comments in the chat. And to kick off the show, I'm going to say what we like to say, and that is go New York, go New York, go.
Oh,
With that being said, I want to introduce my co host, H2O, so that we can kick it off and discuss this victory against the 76ers. So, brother, give us your take. Talk to us.
well, first of all, thank you very much for that introduction. The host with the most. Uh, Tonight, they got off to a fantastic start. It's kind of slow in the beginning. That first quarter wasn't wasn't looking very good. And as a matter of fact, we ended up losing that quarter by 3 points. But in that second quarter, I think it was about 2 minutes going into the game. 2 minutes left in that first quarter. He inserted the second unit, and they just started running. And I wasn't too crazy about the fact that in the beginning we were chucking up a couple of threes, ill advised. Um, but eventually, I think that they decided to change their strategy, or at least the players, and started to kind of like doing a little bit more attacking before they went to taking jump shots from 25 feet out. And so in that second quarter they started just going, and it was with the help of that second unit. Okay. And it was a good. I think I one of the fellas in the chat mentioned it. It was a good bounce back game. They needed that for themselves, and we needed that as fans to re-establish our faith in them, that they're not going to be this, they're going to play well against the good teams. This was, it's early in the season, but this is a little bit of a measuring stick. It's a little bit of a barometer. You can pound your chest when you're playing the Orlando Magic because you beat them by 30, but you got to beat Philadelphia, and you got to beat, the other 4 or 5. And we did beat Boston, which is another one. Boston, Philadelphia, and the Nets and the Miamis of the world. So yes, this was a very good bounce back game. I can't say enough about them. We can always get into the weeds about what they could still do better, but I'm going to hold that for later on, when maybe the other fellas jump in and see what their take is so far. So
Okay.
back to you.
So, in terms of the first quarter, although we lost the first quarter, what was promising to me about the first quarter is that they held Philadelphia to 26 points, which is the ideal number, between 25 and 26 points per quarter, because then they're playing the type of defense that they were playing last year when they're holding teams to 25 or 26 points per quarter. The fact that they scored 23 points in that first quarter, that doesn't surprise me, because we're offensively challenged, or at least until we prove otherwise.
Okay.
In a more sustainable, sample size. But what was promising to me is that they came in with the defense, and that first quarter was an indicator of that. They held them to 26 points, even though they scored 23. So, in that respect, I think they set the tone, and obviously, their defense was lapsing in the last couple of games. And so for them to step up, and I was expecting them to have a better game this particular game because the way they lost against Orlando. Okay, now yes, you're absolutely correct when you say that obviously against the better teams they have stepped up, and that's good. That's good to measure yourself against them. But my litmus test to them, and I mentioned this in the last podcast, is not necessarily when they play up to their competition, but my concern is when they play down to their competition, because that shows a level of inconsistency that we need to get past in order to be an upper echelon team. And that's the thing that I'm going to be looking at more carefully, because I think it's easy to play up to the competition. But I think it's a challenge when you're allowing yourself to play down to your competition. You should be able to maintain your level of competitiveness to take it to another level. So, with that being said, I'm gonna pass the rock to Bill Stradamus so that he can, give us his take on what he thought so far about this game.
That's Bill Stradamus, Esquire. Don't let me have to remind you.
Oh,
Mr. Esquire.
I'm in a good mood.
I know.
I
I'm in
can
a good
tell.
mood. Yeah, we kicked them dudes out of the building, as we should. We should actually be 4-0. However, this was a great bounce back game. The defense is what did it for us for the majority of the game. They came back based on the fact that our defense let down.
Right.
It's simple and plain. And Tibbs called the necessary timeouts, got the necessary guys in there to maintain that lead. And again, I'm in a good mood.
Mhm.
Salute, G Money.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Mitch played exceptionally with regard to his ending stats versus Embiid's ending stats. Embiid only had a few field goals for the whole game. And it wasn't just Mitch. It was a team defense. It was a team effort that did it. But Mitch played hard. Mitch played like a dog tonight, and we got it done. I'll leave it at that. With that being said, let me throw a lob up top to H2O. Go.
I'm going to throw it behind the back to G Money.
Thank you. And I'm gonna splash cash for downtown like Kemba did tonight. Salute everybody.
Salute.
Salute. It was a great night. The defense was phenomenal from start to finish. Also, I loved how we didn't let up. I know the Sixers pulled within 14, but we didn't allow them to, go on one of those huge runs. Also, we were physical with Embiid. We double teamed him at the baseline, forced him to a lot of jump shots, and we slowed him down. And even though Tobias Harris had 23 points, he had no real impact if you actually watched the game because they felt empty calories. Kemba Walker was big. His three ball was flowing. His jumper was flowing. Fournier had his moments. Julius Randle, even though he didn't shoot great, he did a good job with the driving kick, gonna find guys open. And also, RJ Barrett had a great start in the first quarter with his three ball at the left corner and at the left wing. And he was assertive. That's what I like seeing. The energy was great defensively. The ball moving, the penetration. We did a good job crashing the glass over the big man for the Sixers. And salute Notorious. And I like how we maintain our focus even when the Sixers try to make a comeback. And we did a good job swarming the perimeter. And with that, I'm gonna do a no look dish to my man Notorious.
The $6 million man.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. I'm a person of color, so you know it's only $6.
That's a family joke.
Okay.
Notorious just had some surgery, so I've been calling
Right
him
hip
$6 million
replacement.
man.
Ooh.
All right now.
Ooh.
All right,
Ooh.
now we want to talk about this game.
Yes, we do.
Great win.
Awesome.
All right. Makes you think what happened Sunday.
Yeah,
Do you play down to the competition?
yeah.
Or do you play up to your competition? What
Say
is it?
it again. Say it again, Notorious
Do you
B.U.G.
play down to your competition? Or do you play up to your competition? Number two, why is Randall bringing the ball down? Randall should be finding the spot. He should be going through his motions, finding the spot or roaming so that he can get in a place that he can get the ball in a place where he can lay it up or give it up. All right. He's still playing hero ball. Got to get it out of the system. No, we have a good team. They don't need to mess it up doing old things that they did last season.
Mm.
That's how, like I said, the last game, you have to stay focused. You're not focused.
You know, I like to pick up on that last statement or the previous statement that you made there,
Shoot it
BUG.
right to you, bro.
Yes, and the thing is that I agree with you about the Randall handling the ball. However, I did see more of the point guards coming back and taking the ball from him and sending him down, especially Kemba, because Kemba is the guy that plays with that unit most of the time. And I know a number of times Kemba stayed behind and say, "Yo, give me the ball, man," and send them down there. And then they were doing the giving it back and forth to each other a couple of times down. And, that's when Kemba started going off. It was Randall feeding him half of those shots, those 3-pointers that he was making. So, yeah, I agree with you when you mentioned that previous in the chat, that Randall shouldn't be bringing up the ball. But I saw a little bit of a difference in tonight's game.
Yeah, well, it takes time, but you have to change it. You got to get him out of that bad habit. He's not the lone man on the team anymore. It's
Okay,
a
so
team.
to add to that point, if you did, in case you missed the interview on TNT before the game, they were interviewing Randall, and one of the things that they asked him was about what happened to him. Like, he had a great season last year, but in the playoff, he kind of like fell off, and he said he admitted to having to be better and trusting his teammates a little bit more. So he took responsibility for the fact that, he could have done a better job of maybe giving up the ball, taking better shots, or maybe not taking as many shots, not playing hero ball. So that was in the interview prior to the game.
That's true, but the last two games he was playing hero ball, and that's why he kept losing the ball.
Fellas, somebody has on something, some TV or radio or something.
Well,
You,
unfortunately, I'm in your aunt's house and they're watching TV.
mm,
So, out of respect for it, I will drop out.
No, you don't have to drop out. You don't have to drop.
Whoa!
Just when you're not talking,
when you're
just
not
mute your
talking,
mic.
mute. That's
That's
all.
all. That's all. When you're not talking, that's all.
There you go. So take it
So,
away.
Dream.
Dream, welcome, bro.
Oh man, good to be here. Good to be here. This is definitely a good win. I know personally, I wasn't too high on them pulling this out, especially after learning that they had won like 15 straight against us or something like that. That was kind of crazy. But definitely like you guys wrote in the chat, good bounce back win. They needed this. This was basically a complete team win. I'm going up and down, the stat line and stuff like that, and everybody had basically between 8 and I think like 18 or something like that, But everybody came, contributed, did their thing. They had a little bit of lax in defense, and I'm not sure what they were doing in the beginning of the fourth quarter. It just that their backup squad was basically just coming down and picking away points, and we weren't really scoring or putting anything back up, going the other way. And so beyond that though, I thought it was pretty good. It was solid. especially against it's a good early test for us against a solid team that is there, has been at the top of the East, the last couple of years, especially, and and I think they finished first last year, right? So that was pretty good. I enjoyed watching it, and I'll pass the ball up to H2O. Get
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to give it right back to Esquire.
Coach. No, it goes to coach.
Okay, give it to
Papi
Santos.
That was pass to me. Quick touch pass to Coach Papi Santos.
There you go.
Overall, the flow of the game, I mean, the beauty of it is you had two different speeds that were taking place. You had the first unit that was slow, bringing it up, setting up plays, and so forth and so on. When that second unit got in the game, they were running and gunning. And so, having that change of, pace is good, because now as a defensive, as a team that's playing against them, you gotta try to match up or adjust to those two different types of games, which is an advantage for us. And it also shows the depth and diversity that we have in the offense, or at least the capability to have that type of diversity, provided that Tibbs uses the bench to that extent. So, I was impressed with that. I was very happy with that. And the only thing that you're right in terms of Notorious B.U.G., in terms of Randall and falling into his bad habits of always trying to bring the ball up. You don't need to do that. What I prefer to see him do is to do a little bit of running to, rim the rim. Yeah, we know he can shoot the three, but go from coast to coast, running the lanes, and let the guards feed you and get them easy buckets. You'll get that three when the time is necessary. You don't have to settle for the three starting off. And so I definitely agree with you in that respect. In terms of Barrett, Barrett, he started off the game with, I think he had 2 threes. I still prefer him to attack the basket first, inside out. Yeah. Let Fournier be the guy to shoot the three. Let Walker be the guy to shoot the three. Let Randall be the guy to shoot the three. Barrett needs to attack the basket. He needs to play bully ball too, and then settle for threes or go and shoot threes. I think that's going to provide the offense more balance. I think that's going to help Barrett's confidence, and it's only going to complement the players that you have on the floor. Because if he's attacking, then other guys can just spot up, because not everybody's attacking the basket. Fournier, he'll do that every now and then, trying to fake the jump shot and then go to the basket. Or Kemba Walker, he'll set the pick and roll and stuff like that. But somebody is just flat out attacking the basket. Barrett has the capability of doing that. And when he gets fouled, he's able to hit the free throw at a higher percentage than he would shooting threes. With that being said, I'm going to drop it off to my main man, Bill Stradamus, Esquire.
I agree with you, bro. What I also like, I like what you're saying is how basically, if you think about it or look at it, is how Obi's playing. Obi's attacking the basket. However, if he's open in the corner and they throw it to him, he'll shoot the three. He was off tonight. However, his attack game is on point, man, and it's getting better and better. You can see the confidence in him. And I had mentioned on one of the chats that I was on that he has a little Dr. J in him, seemingly. Because Dr. J, I remember him, you got guys like G Money and Dream might not have seen Dr. J, but see highlights. But Dr. J, I used to go to the games and watch him. Dr. J was always on the attack. He didn't have the greatest handle, but his handle was good enough to get him to the hole. Okay. And that's the same thing I see with Obi. Obi's good enough to get to he goes in, and when the defender's on him, he doesn't always look to dunk it. Like he does these little, little swoop moves, little, undercut moves, and that's the Dr. J that I see in him, and I'm like, I'm kind of surprised because that's smart. that's smart playing at the same time. Then you got my man. I got to talk about Boogie Burks. Burks comes in and just does what he does.
Excuse me, Moreau 2.0.
Oh, please stop.
Hey.
I'm gonna cut your camera off, man. He plays nothing like Earl the Pearl Monroe. Nothing like it. And he comes off the bench. The Pearl was a starter.
Uh-oh.
You're kind of you're in a way you're almost dissing the Pearl.
Disrespecting the Pearl.
You're
Black
disrespecting
Jesus.
the
Trust
Pearl.
my man Burks.
Not yet. Well, we love him. I love him as much as I did the Pearl, but not yet. But back to him. He comes in and does what he does, and just he drops buckets.
Mm-hmm.
He settles them down and controls the ball from the top. When they getting a little sloppy, which they did. The second unit, which did so great for us in the first half, the defense kind of it was a big letdown on the defense in the second half when they were in. And then when I saw that once either him or Rose had the ball, they were able to settle the team down. We were able to run a few plays and get some baskets that way. And that's what we're going to have to be. We're going to have to be that team which leads by the defense. And then we got enough offensive weapons to compete against anybody on any given night, depending on the matchups and depending on, who's hot and who's not. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, who am I passing it over to? Is it down to G Money?
G Money.
I'm open.
Down Money, G Money. Here you go.
He's open.
Thank you.
He said he's open, man.
And I'm going to do a one-handed DeMar DeRozan throwdown.
All right.
I'm with it.
You guys made some great points. Our second unit was great in the first half. Second half, they kind of cooled off a little bit. That's why Philly sliced the lead from 27 to 14. Ooh. But what I also liked about our game, we did a good job swarming the shooters. I know Danny Green got hot, but other than Danny Green, no one else really got hot for the Sixers from downtown. Usually Seth Curry would get off because he was shooting 77% from downtown, which is scorching. But he was colder than the Arctic tonight from long range. So was Maxey. So was Embiid. We did a good job swarming through the perimeter, and we did a good job hustling for loose balls and find the open man. I know there were times in which we were playing hero ball here and there, which we got to fix that when we play the Bulls. But what I liked about it is that Tom Thibodeau outcoached Doc Rivers in this game. He outcoached Doc Rivers, though. And I want to throw this out there. We snapped a 15-game losing streak to the Sixers. Because the last time we had beat them, ironically, that was in the Garden when, it was Melo's final game in New York. So that was the last time. But the thing what I love, though, is that we were physical with Embiid and Drummond. We did a good job finding the open man. And Kemba Walker, this is his best game as a Knick. His jumper looked good. His three ball looked good. He hit the elbow J. He looked very good. He wasn't rushing too much. He allowed the game come to him. And what I also liked about this game too, we beat a contender. Because last year we were struggling against contenders. This year we beat a contender right away. Because when we go to the playoffs, we got to be teams like the Sixers or the Lakers, the Jazz, Suns, teams like that, for us to have momentum going into the playoffs. And I liked how we kept our focus down the stretch. Because when the Sixers put within 14, old Knicks teams would have collapsed. But this Knicks team found a way to, play a good 48-minute game. And that second quarter was won us the game. That second quarter, where we outscored 39-16. That won us the game right there. So, and that was great. And Chuck's guarantee was awesome. Thank you, Chuck.
Guarantee.
Yes.
I was worried at first until Henry relieved me. He told me that he guaranteed the Bucks would win. So I said, okay, I took it.
Yeah. And with that, I'm gonna do a wraparound pass to my man Dream.
Well, I appreciate that. And folks, you want to get back on? You got anything quick to say?
Yeah. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Gentlemen, I'm here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the game was good, like I said, man, but we got work to do. Nobody should get lazy or get too happy.
True.
Mhm.
So, all the accolades that you're throwing is great, but they should be in the gym shooting right now.
Mhm.
Okay, Henry Jr.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. Doggone right. Doggone right.
Yo,
In
we
the
call it
gym
like we
shooting.
see it.
That's right.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
We
what
don't
the big
wear
test,
rose-colored
you know,
glasses here, brother.
but one of the big tests is going to be? It's going to be
Bulls,
Utah when they play
Bulls,
Utah.
Bulls. Thursday.
Bulls next time. The Bulls are a good team, but we can beat them. Philly, I'm telling you right now, without Ben Simmons, they're not going to be where they were before.
Okay, I
They're
agree.
not. So what they
That
once
big
was,
teams like
they
Phoenix
aren't
too.
anymore, unless they pick up somebody. Bulls are going to be a good test. Miami's going to be a good test. Utah is going to be the test.
And Phoenix too. Don't forget about them.
That's going to be the real test.
Bill, you're muted.
Huh?
No, I'm talking to
Oh,
Bill. You
I
muted
would say
yourself.
all of the West Coast teams are going to be they're going to be a test for us. All of those, Denver, Utah, the Lakers, Phoenix, all of those teams, they're going to be a problem for us. So
They're
we
going to
gotta
be a
be
problem,
ready.
but remember, Utah matches us more closely than any other team in the West. And they're a good team. They're a very good team. If you go man for man, they're about even with us, except for they're a good team. So that's going to be a real test.
Mhm.
You can't you
We're,
can't
and
judge
we're
you can't
Same thing
judge
with
it on
Phoenix.
LA.
Phoenix has a better backcourt than we do. And Phoenix
Huh?
also, and same thing with Phoenix. Phoenix matches well with us too because they have shooting, they have a nice backcourt, and they have a good bench themselves. There's a reason why we haven't been the Suns since what, 2017, 16, around that. There's a reason why we haven't been the Suns in a while because they also have a smart point guard in Chris Paul, an underrated shooting guard Devin Booker. You have an underrated top 10 center in DeAndre Ayton, and they have a smart head coach in Monty Williams. So yeah, I get what you're saying towards about the Jazz. I'm not a believer in the Jazz. I'm not a believer in that team. But the Suns to me will be our biggest test.
Well, fellas, we don't have to see the sun until the sunrise.
Yeah.
So right
Yeah.
now, we got to worry about the Bulls on Thursday and the Pelicans on Saturday. We have to take this season, like you said, don't get too high on the high day, don't get too low on the low days. I agree with everybody. We should be 4-0 right now, but we messed up.
Mhm.
As a team, they went in there and gave up a winnable game. However, we have to think about the game in front of us and now prepare for that game.
Mhm.
And that game is the Bulls. And the Bulls, they may not scare anybody, but they're playing well.
4-0. The first
Okay.
since
Yes.
'97.
So that's good enough. All right, to be first in the East. And they do have a couple of new fellas in there. I think LaMelo Ball is with them now.
No,
Lonzo.
Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo
Lonzo
Ball
and
and
DeRozan.
DeRozan.
Lonzo and
So
DeRozan.
they're not the same Bulls that we've been pushing around the last couple of years.
Hmm.
Okay, so we better, either come hard or go home.
Yeah.
you know,
Try
so
not to
that's what's
get
going to
bullied.
happen.
Hilarious.
And we're playing in their crib,
Hmm.
so we got a nice little short 2-game road trip, and we got to take care of business there.
Hmm.
Because we're going to see. I think it's the Pelicans after that. I'm
Yeah,
looking
we
at
have
the
New Orleans
schedule.
after that. Yeah,
Let
you gotta
let,
go
let
to New
dream
Orleans.
go. Let dream go.
Mhm.
Let dream go. Don't
Okay.
get too far ahead.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
No, I agree. I agree. I mean, just bring it all the way back to that. I guess they'll finish up this game. I guess but I mean, some things I guess we didn't really like. Some of these turnovers. We had 15 turnovers, but most of those came in the first half, and we had some late ones that really, um, you know, kind of just threw it in late. Added to it. We really had like 12 with like a minute, something like that to go. So that wasn't so bad. But we only had one missed free throw, so that was pretty good. Last couple of games we were in like right underneath 60% or something like that as a team free throw shooting. So we kind of cleaned
Mhm.
that up, and the only one that was missed was by Mitch. So I give that. I'm not really mad against that. And you guys already kind of touched up on it. It's important to get these division wins. The Knicks. I'm not sure if you guys know. I think Vegas has them winning like 49 games this year. So I went through the schedule myself. I kind of came up with the same amount of wins, 49, but I didn't have us doing that well against our own division just because of the firepower that our division comes with. But it's good to get early wins against Boston and now Philadelphia. You got you stack these up. The loss overall over these 4 games for me, I didn't have them beating Philly, so it still would have been 3-1 for me regardless. So that doesn't really affect me either way. I just I was disappointed that they let a good opportunity against a weak team, like a young team that you just went and beat. So you had the formula of how to go beat them. They didn't really just execute the way they did. Basically, like tonight, they came out, and they fired off. It was crazy, even that second quarter. Some of these guys got off, and they had like nice parts of the game where they just took over themselves. In that second quarter, Walker, his shot was smooth like Blue Label, and basically, and Fournier was dropping his buckets from time to time. So, that was nice to see. I liked the individual matchup of the game too. For me, it was fun to watch Maxey versus IQ, taking them back to their Kentucky days. I thought that was pretty cool to watch them go back and forth a little bit. And then I really thought that Mitch was very physical and brought a nice, a strong, solid performance against Embiid. Even though Embiid came in a little bit hobbled because he had something going on with his knee, but he was physical with him. He basically battled with him the entire game. And he didn't look lost out there. There was some times he got beat. But for the most part, I thought he held up pretty well against them. When this was a good matchup, especially Embiid and then Drummond coming in right behind them. That's really two big guys that are usually physical that give us some trouble from time to time. But outside of that, going forward, yeah, Chicago, they got their new guys, all their weapons. They're not sneaking up on anybody really. I do have them as making the biggest jump in the East. The problem with that for them is that they were down around 11 or 12 last year. So even like their 10 plus games that I have them winning drops them right below us. But they're going to be chasing, right on our tail. Last year, we wanted to keep up with Charlotte and Atlanta in the beginning. We said, let's stay with these teams and move up with them and stay with them. We pretty much did. Charlotte fell off at the end of the year. We stayed with Atlanta this year. It's Miami and Chicago we need to keep pace with. So far, we're doing well with that. And, but outside of that, and I'll dig in a little bit more later on, but I'll toss it up to Coach Garrett.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's being, I guess, implied here, and some may have already touched up on it, is, first we got to break down this season, in increments, in games of 10. And the most important part of that is because it's early in the season. Nobody's in mid-season form, and that's the opportunity that we really have to capitalize on. That's the opportunity where we can, steal some victories against teams that either we're not supposed to beat or, teams that maybe we have a chance of beating. Those are the games that we got to get now, because as the season progresses, everybody start to get into the, mid-season form, and then it'll be tougher to win those games. So this is that moment in time. And this is something that I said to H2O 2 seasons ago, and even last season. It's about getting these early games between now and December, because in the past, by the time December came, we were completely out. But the reality was, if there was an opportunity to win games, those were the ones. Because look at the Lakers, look at the Brooklyn Nets and stuff like that. They're not playing at their peak right now. Yeah, and the record reflects that. But as the season wears on, you anticipate that they're going to get better. I mean, they just got too many players that are going to take them to that next level. So I say that to say these Knicks are in a position right now to take advantage of that. Even though they have a few new guys, it's not a full roster turnover that's going to, really challenge them to start having chemistry. They'll be able to get through that. The constant is playing solid D. They play solid D, which is their identity, then they should be able to win. And they can't play down to the competition. Because if
Mm-hmm.
they do that, then they're not really improving as a team. They're
Right.
leveling off. And that's not what we want. We want them to get to that next step. And that next step is winning the against the good teams and winning against the bad teams. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it off to Bill Stradamus, Esquire, so he can take it from there.
I agree with you, coach. I agree with you, coach. However, I'm looking at my notes, and I'm gonna have to go back and kind of agree with Notorious and H2O with regard to how we have to bring it. We only won one quarter of that game, which was the second quarter. We lost all of the other three quarters.
Mm-hmm.
We lost the first quarter by 3. We lost the third quarter by 2. Fourth quarter by 5. And we won the second quarter by 23, which is what gave us that margin of victory.
Mm.
So I have to say that you guys are right. We have to bring that defensive intensity for 48, not for 12.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with that being said, let's talk about Mitch. Mitch, Mitch is looking good so far.
Mhm. Yeah.
So far, he's looking good. He didn't even hit the floor 15 times this game like like he normally does. Mitch is playing well. Like I
Yeah.
said earlier, it's not that he stopped or he didn't do anything special on Embiid, but make it difficult for Embiid. It was a team effort, but I saw Mitch was up for it. Mitch was bodying him and was willing to clash with him. I didn't like the fact that in that first, I believe the first quarter, or I know for the first half, he got like stupid fouls, like reaching in, those type of fouls that he shouldn't get. However, I think Mitch played very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
He had what? Yeah, basically just 7 points and 6 rebounds, but and he only played, well, not only he played 29 minutes. However, it was an effective 29 minutes because Embiid only had 6 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Embiid played 30 minutes, and Embiid had 14 points to his 7. So, and Embiid is the focal point of Philly's offense,
Mhm.
where Mitch is like the 18th option on our offense. So, therefore, it was he had a good game. I think he had a nice solid game.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll leave it at there for now, and I'll drop a bounce pass over to my man G Money. Take it away, though, bro.
What's going on? Yeah, you guys made some great points. Like you said, Santana, we just got to, you know, take one game at a time. Don't look overhead. Don't look overhead to certain teams. We cannot play down to our competition. Because I felt that the Magic game, we thought that, oh, we're just gonna show up and play, and we got burned. But
Mhm.
this game, we came out with the right mentality. Yeah, there were certain things we could have done better in this game, but I felt that that second quarter was knickerbocker basketball. That
Mhm.
second quarter was our potential. What 39-16, that was it though. That's what gave us the game right there. So that's what helped us. And another thing too, what we have to do. Obviously, our free throw shooting was very good tonight. We made free throws, as because we were struggling at the free throw line the first few games of the season. But like I said before, we also have to beat contenders. Though we also have to beat playoff caliber teams like the Bulls. The Bulls are gonna be fighting with us for making the playoffs. Though the Bulls had new pieces: Caruso, DeRozan, Lonzo. They're gonna be a team that's going to be in the playoffs. So we gotta go to that building, the Windy City in Chicago, and get it done. It's going to be a very, very challenging game. Very, very challenging game. So if we can take one game at a time, not look too far ahead, we should be able to be fine. So that's my thing. And I have one more thing too before I dish the rock. We just need to, you know, continue to, show a sense of urgency like we did in the second game against the Magic and in this game. Limit turnovers, share the ball, find the open man, lob it to Obi, lob it to Mitch. And if you Mitch had a good game in my opinion, but he has to stop committing dumb fouls. Stop
Yeah,
committing some dumb fouls because it could be costly later in the season.
Mhm.
So
agreed.
that's what I'm saying. So if we can do those things, and Julius Randle could be less of a ball hog and play up to his game and not try to win the game in the first quarter or whatever. Same for RJ, we should be good. And with that, I'm gonna do a Steve Nash dish to my man Notorious.
And I'm gonna catch it. And I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna shoot with inside the arc. Nothing but net.
Mhm.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
well, since you brought up my man Mitch, you know how I was on him last season. I have to say, Flex is playing better. He's not hiding behind the backboard. He's being a part of the offense, even if he's catching the ball and coming around the elbow. He's looking for the alley oops in traffic, not when he's by himself. Last season before he got hurt, it's always basically when he's by himself and free. Now he's doing it in traffic. He's big enough. He's strong enough. He got he can't just play bully ball with doing it. You got to take it a step further. You got to do like the old man from the Lakers. You just got to throw it down and take people for rides now.
Mhm.
When you get the ball, stop getting the ball waist size or at your knees. Get the ball up top and keep going straight up. The other thing that I wanted to talk about with U-Haul, and I think I text this, he also has to stop waiting for the man to get on him when he gets the ball and he's open. Take the shot. What I see the last three games is he'll get the ball and wait for the man to get on him and guard him, and then he makes a move. He was open from the very beginning. That's why he got the ball. Either pass the ball or take it to the hole. And he's not doing that. So that's the adjustment that we definitely have to make in Chicago because you're not going to get away with that in Chicago. I think the pick and roll work in Chicago. I think because I think we have more defense that we can deal with these guys because they're nothing but offense.
Mhm.
I think if we have the defensive intensity, then we could probably win that game too and keep going.
Mm.
Mhm.
And with that, I'm gonna pass it to Coach.
Okay, I'm gonna pass it down to either H2O or to Dream. I'm not sure who's next.
I'll take it.
Well,
I'll jump in front of him. I'll steal the ball. I'll be greedy like Randall.
oh,
So
oh, Randall,
that's it.
you gonna fight me for the
And
rebound?
I'm gonna run up court. I'm gonna run up court, and then I'm transform
Yeah.
into Obi and do a little wild spin and bounce off somebody. It's a bunch of crazy stuff going on. But anyway, no, I agree with you guys wholeheartedly about all the points you made. Since we were talking about Mitch, the only criticism I did have is that he wasn't making the adjustment to taking away the baseline a lot of the night, and that's part of what Embiid, especially because they were trying to give him help with Embiid. Towards the middle. So he just had to step over a little bit. He wasn't making that adjustment, and he was just allowing them to get a little too deep. And then, some of those crazy, he's still getting faked out on the jump shot a little bit too much. He needs to just stay on the ground and just put his hands up, stay solid. But outside of that, he was okay. Mostly because we want to see some kind of progression with him, I guess, is really what we want to see. Him take the next step. His offensive game is not really going to take the next step. But the other people on the team are making such, progressional leaps and bounds. Like Obi came back this year, and we're waiting for Quickly to take off a little bit, I guess. And some of the other guys if they get a little more run. But if they have more games like this and just hold on to the lead, because sometimes, man, they just look like they go right back to the old Knicks, and they hit a dead spot in the game, and they just don't score for long periods of time, and they just foul and send guys to the line or give up long distance threes to nobody's. It's crazy. But outside of that, we got the lead back 20 with about 3 minutes to go or something like that, and I kind of put it away. So that was good enough to see. Our bench, I guess, needed to put a little bit more because by the end of the game, they outscored us. The bench to bench matchup, and they're trying to install into our offense 43s a night. So that's pretty much why they keep coming out running and gunning right away. So it's good at least because some of these guys are making their shots, and I'm hoping guys like Burks will start coming around and making a couple more buckets too, and that'll just add to the array of shots that are coming at the other team. So, and then we'll force teams to have to try to outshoot us offensively. Defensively, we're taking a little bit of a hit this season, but that was just because of that first game, that 138 that we gave up, or whatever, 134 that we gave up to Boston. That's messing with our numbers right now. But overall, we've been holding teams pretty well. I think we held 2 teams under 100, and the other 2 teams a little bit over that, or something like that, around there. So, I'm not really concerned with that too much. But as far as Chicago goes, we got to figure out how to stop that guard penetration. We're getting beat with that pretty easily in all these games, whether they're young guards or older guards. That's the one thing that Kemba is a little bit soft on, I would say. He gives us great offensive potential, but that he kind of it's like Olay a little bit on the defense, to some of these guards, and they have to figure that part out, But we'll be okay. I think we'll hold our own. I think we score so much at this point right now. At least that's what they've shown, that they are going to score this year and not be stuck around, that low 100 mark. We'll probably push more towards the 115, 120 mark, per night. So that'll be fun to watch. And, this is an early test. Here comes Chicago. This is one of the teams we need to keep up with, So that being said, I'll toss it back up. Go ahead. I don't know who wants it.
The only thing I wanted to add is that one of the things that I'm liking is that coach is expanding his rotation. And I don't know whether it's by choice or because he's being forced to by the players.
Yeah,
the players. You gotta give Taj some minutes. You gotta give Burke some minutes. You gotta give Quickly minutes, and you gotta give Toby minutes. So already, that's and you gotta give Rose minutes. That's 10 guys. So he's got those 10 guys coming into every game so far. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to Grimes. I don't know whether he got hurt or something, or because he didn't play the last game and he did not play in this game. Actually, he did play in Sunday's game for about a minute or two. But he was looking very good in the first 2 games, and now all of a sudden, I don't even know if I even saw him on the bench. So that would have been the 11th player, because I think he had Grimes coming in one of those games before Quickly. So he's gone back to Quickly, and Quickly is responding a little bit better, not chucking up every time that he gets the ball, and the floater is going in, even though it looks like it's not. But and the 3 is coming around, and the most important thing is that everybody is contributing, in their minutes. I think one more shot by Alec, Burks, Emmanuel Quickly, and Obi Toppin, and they would have been in double figures too. And we would have had 9 guys in double figures, and that's what a team that is ready to make the jump to the next level looks like. You got to have 8 guys in double figures, even if they all score 15, and then, you get the contributions with the 8 and 5 and 7 and, from the rest of the rotation. And, I would love to see more of that. I would love to see Julius get his 30, but if he gets 16 and we win, I'm all for that. I don't need 30 from him, and we lose by 6. So
he almost triple-doubled.
Yeah,
couple assists away,
which is good.
Yeah,
which is good. Give me 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists.
Yeah, quiet triple-double.
I'll take that because those other 3 assists, that's another 6 points or 9 points.
Yeah.
That is, that you add to the score. So I'll leave it at that and give it back to Santana. You're muted.
Muted, bro.
Yeah, the thing with Randall is, just really polishing his game. He really needs to do that. Like Notorious started off with, in terms of, dribbling the ball too much. Get it to your guards. That's why you got these guards, and these are very capable guards. So that's definitely something that he needs to transition from. The second thing that he needs to really stop is stop complaining to the refs. Every single time that either he doesn't get a call, he gets fouled, he's complaining. Nobody want to see that. Nobody want to hear it. Listen, play through it, do your thing. You get the calls. But every single thing, he's focusing on getting in the referee's face and questioning. Man, that gets tired after a while. You're only gonna, take away from your focus. Stay focused on doing what you need to do on the offensive end and the defensive end, and you'll be all right. But if you keep complaining and complaining, and every time that you don't agree with a particular a call, you're in the referee's face. Eventually, they're gonna get that. They're gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? So, those are the things that I think need to be tweaked in terms of Barrett. Barrett really needs to just focus on scaling back his approach. He's trying to do everything, and he's not ready to do everything. He's trying to do what Fournier is currently doing. Fournier's game is polished. He knows he can shoot the three. He knows he can take you off the dribble. He can move without the ball. It's all in the flow of the game. Barrett is forcing things. You know what I mean? And that's not working for him. So he needs to focus on what does he do best? Attack the basket, a little bully ball. Work on that. Work on that. Stick to that. And I think he'll be better off and the pressure won't build up on him. He's trying to do everything all at once. You know what I mean? With that being said, I'm going to pass it off to my main man, Bill Stradamus, Esquire.
You're muted, Bill. He had his whole crew at the Barclays Center over there.
Barclays Center.
You had your whole crew at the Barclays Center yesterday. Was that you I saw there?
Not me.
Yeah, they were breaking down barriers because they wouldn't let Kyrie play. I thought you'd be there with them.
Oh, okay.
You say you were representing.
I was
Kyrie won't let Kyrie play.
I was orchestrating from above.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't on the scene.
Oh, all right. So you sent them over there. You said go over there.
Yeah.
Another January 6th type of situation.
I did a Donald. Yes.
Donald.
Go over there right now and tear it down for Kyrie.
That's crazy.
Okay.
But what I wanted to say is that I agree with the majority of what everyone is saying here tonight with regard to this game. And of course, since we won, we got all these good things to talk about. However, we did bring up the things that we need to focus on. That defense, moving the ball, which those were our same issues last year. However, we seemingly are a little better at those things. We're moving the ball. Well, in these 4 games, we're moving the ball because we have more pieces to get the ball to get a good shot. And the defense is what we're going to hang our hat on again this year. That defense, we were good in the first half because of the second quarter, and then we were good enough in the second half. Basically, like I said, we lost the second half in point total, both quarters. However, it wasn't as if it wasn't what we did to them in the second quarter. Like I said, they won the quarters by 2-3 points or what have you, and that was because I have to give credit to Tibbs, because there was a point in the game. I believe it was when that second unit was in. They were doing well. However, Taj had picked up 2 quick fouls, and I think I even mentioned in the chat. Maybe now it's time for Sims. H2O wanted Sims in even earlier than that. and I see why now. And he could have given Sims a little burn. I I guess. However, he chose not to, and it seemed to work out for him because Taj had a good game as well.
Mhm.
Taj was solid in there. Um, he played the required defense that it took to slow down. I won't say we didn't stop NB. No one player stopped NB. I want to continue to reinforce that was a team effort that slowed MB down. But the individual efforts were well noted, both by Mitch and by Taj Gibson. I don't recall. Maybe one of you guys can tell me. I don't recall Tibbs going to the small ball lineup with Randall at the 5 and Obi at the 4. Did he do that this game? I don't think he did.
No.
No.
I don't think he did that this
Well,
game.
Not this game.
unless you consider Taj,
No, I'm saying
more
no.
lineup.
No, with those plays, with
No,
Randall and Obi.
Randall and Toby
Yeah,
at the same time.
yeah.
No,
No, he didn't do that. Evan Fournier, another solid game. What did he drop? Like 18 points, something like that?
18 points.
That guy is a godsend to this team.
Mhm.
That's
And like
right.
one of you guys just pointed out, um, he's now doing what RJ wants to be able to play and contribute the way he's doing it, but he's forcing it. I
Mhm.
agree wholeheartedly with that sentiment. Um, my man Evan Fournier, man, he's just smooth with it too. He can play on the ball, without the ball, run him off picks, pick and roll. He's a ball player. That guy knows how to play ball, and I'm glad that we have him on the team. He's going to continue to contribute. Him and Kemba basically outplayed. Who's the starting backcourt for Philly? Seth,
Curry
Seth, and who else?
And
Whoever,
Maxi.
Maxi, right?
and
Seth
Maxi.
and Maxi. Yeah,
Oh,
they were outplayed tremendous. They were D'd up.
they
They
shut
we
they
D'd
shut
up.
Curry down though.
However, I think it was G Money was mentioning in the chat, and I agree with him. Those guys were also missing. They were missing some shots.
Missed a lot of open shots. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They missed a lot of open shots. However, the effort on defense has to be applauded from our guys with regard to those guys.
Mhm.
Green, he had a couple of shots, but I don't, for whatever reason, I don't consider Green a threat. He could be having the greatest game, but I just feel that you concentrate, you put 20% of concentration on him, and you can shut him down, or just slow him down. Um, but Tibbs had the right guys in at the right times, and when the lead started to slip away, he was able to put in one or two guys who were able to slow us down, steady the ship,
Mhm.
and keep us attacking, even though we did it in a slower manner in the later quarters. Now that might have been based on their I don't know. It might have been a little tired or what have you. Like I see Coach over there yawning, so we might have been a little tired. Maybe that's why we slowed down. However,
Well, if I may, Esquire,
yes,
you're right. And what we have right now, what we didn't have last season, is fresh legs.
Mhm.
And I think
yeah,
that's what you're
yes,
leading to. We
yes,
can put in fresh
100%.
legs, and
Right.
everybody can run 80 to 100% on that court,
Mhm.
knowing that you got somebody who plays just as well that you can put in, and the defense keeps up. But I give the ball back to you, brother.
Not and with that being said, you said it better than I could have ever said it. So I'm going downtown to G Money.
Go G.
Yeah, you guys hit right on the money. We didn't have fresh legs last year, and also I felt guys like Obi were kind of up and down last year. He's been more. I know it's early, but he's been a little bit more consistent this year. Quigley, I mean, he actually had a decent game tonight. I know he's been a sophomore slump so far, but I think he'll pick it up a little bit. And what I liked about this game is the fact that Tibbs used his bench a little bit, rotate with his bench a little bit, and didn't and wasn't stubborn. That's what I like seeing from this game, though. Tibbs was actually open minded to see what was working. So that's what I like seeing. Because last year, Tibbs would just listen to what he wants rather than what the team needs. So that's the thing. So that's the thing. And before I go, before I have to go, it was a great game. Salute everybody. Also, hopefully we can make the Bulls see red tomorrow, Thursday. Hope we can make the Bulls see red.
Yeah.
So with that,
Uh-huh.
once a Nick, always a Nick. See you later, everybody.
All right, J Money. He didn't pass it. He just left the
You want to
game.
jump in, Bugs?
Ball.
Well,
I know,
yeah,
that's why. That's
I'll
why.
jump in. What I hope to see on Thursday, and what I hope to see is Grimes getting in and playing some defense, because I think he can keep up from what I've seen so far. And I could be wrong. I'm not the coach, but he seems that he's a good guard that can guard some of the faster guards in the league. And I think he's a pest guard when it comes to defense. And I hope, because we got two good guards that we're going to play against, that he gets some run to prove it.
Yeah. We're gonna probably have to play the youngsters against who was it? Against DeRozan, and because they
Ball.
seemingly they play three guards. Unless DeRozan play, I guess he plays two or three. You got
Well,
DeRozan
DeRozan, isn't he 6'6"?
about, so he could play. I guess he plays two or three.
He's a big
But you
guy.
got the other one, the other brother there, the dunk master,
Levine.
Levine. And then you got Lonzo.
Yeah.
So the three of them,
They got height.
that's a tough trio to deal with defensively.
But if you put Grimes on Ball, and Ball can't feed these guys, then you slow up their game a little bit.
That's the objective.
Yeah.
So with that, I can tell you, because I know it's getting late, I got us at 113, 107, beating the Bulls.
Okay.
Well, we are going to have another show on Thursday before the game.
Yeah.
And we can even, we could take your prediction now, but I'm sure that if you're going to come on, we can go through that again on that day. I don't think.
Well, yeah, but it's not going to change.
Okay. Good thing. All right. So you're saying Bulls are winning 113-107?
No, I said the Knicks are going to win.
Oh, okay.
Said the
113,
Knicks.
107. Okay.
How about you, H2O?
I'm holding my predictions until next Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why, you think somebody's going to get a hangnail or something? Come on.
That's going to be a conversation for that show. What I do want to see, I want to see McBride. I don't know if Grimes is the defensive stopper. I think McBride is, but we'll have that conversation on Thursday also.
Absolutely.
Yes. So
Grimes got the wet jumper.
right.
Grimes
Grimes is H2O the second.
H2O
The third.
2.0.
Oh my God.
H2O
How many
2.0.
sons you gonna have on the team?
Well,
That's true. 'Cause you're the second H2O.
Allen Houston was the first H2O.
H2O to the third power.
Yes.
H2O to the third power.
There you go. Okay. Don't forget, Allen Houston wore number 20, right?
Right, he was
H2O.
There you go. There you go.
And I got something to say, man.
Yes.
Say it. Say it.
Don't be getting on my boy. Don't be getting on my boy Burks. He's not like Rivers.
Oh, he's a better version. He's a better version of him.
He's better.
I would never compare him to Ripper.
No.
Burks is for real. And he's going to be in a lot of games.
Yeah.
He's going to make a lot of differences, just like he did for us last year.
Yep.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
I was very happy when they brought him back in. Well, I thought we were for sure we're going to lose him. And
Well, Update, guys. It's little under a minute left in the first half. Denver and Utah in Utah tied at 62.
Oh, okay. In the first half.
Mhm.
First half.
Oh, they're not playing no defense.
First half.
There.
Yeah.
It's going up and down.
They're running
No.
and gunning.
Like the old Denver Nuggets.
They're running and
Hope
gunning.
they have a bench.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
If you don't have a bench, you're gonna run yourself out.
Who was the coach of Denver back then that used to score 200
Dan
points
Issel.
a game? Nah,
Dan
no.
Yeah, Issel.
Nah, it wasn't.
Yeah,
Issel.
he wasn't
It
running.
wasn't
He
Dan
wasn't running.
Issel.
It was.
It was somebody else. It's
Yeah, it was
Denver
somebody
Nuggets
prior
coach.
to him.
Okay.
Who?
That wasn't Green
That-
Shoe. It was somebody who had some type of high-powered offense, and them guys were just they played not a lick of defense, but they would just outscore you.
I'll score you.
Hmm.
Alex English.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
those
part of
were
that
great
team.
guys.
But yeah, it's trying to remember who the coach was. I forgot.
Pat Lever.
Yes.
You think? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't
who's
remember.
that coach?
I just remember Alex English. I don't even remember the rest. Oh, Thompson. Clay Thompson's father used to play with them too.
Did he?
Michael Thompson.
Michael Thompson.
Okay.
Okay, I don't remember. I don't recall, but okay. I remember Fat Lever and Alex English and Kiki Vanderway.
Kiki played with them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Before he came to the Knicks and played like Frankenstein.
Uh-huh.
So let's start wrapping it up, fellas.
All right. There's nothing much.
Dream,
more
do
that I
you
need
want to
to
say
add.
anything?
I mean, I think I'm pretty good. We talked about most of the topics, I mean, some of the exciting things, even though some of these guys haven't gotten off completely yet, Barrett will find his way. Burks and quickly will get, more consistent of what we used to seeing from them. Even though they have contributed well so far, but, making a couple more buckets. And as far as the defense, like I said, we got to figure out how to stop the guard penetration at the top. But a good thing also is that we will be getting Noel back soon. And, that's just going to add to the potency of the defense, and then some easy buckets on the inside too. So that's exciting and stuff like that. And if Evan Fournier has a couple more games like this, I'm giving him the nickname, the Eiffel Shower. Down on him.
That's a good nickname.
Okay. So,
All right. All
That's a
right.
good nickname.
Yo,
That's
man,
dope.
you need to
I
patent
can
that
see
so
them
that
using
nobody
that.
else can steal it.
Somebody gonna steal it.
The
You
Eiffel
better patent that.
Shower.
Patent
Water.
that, Dream. Don't
Water.
worry. Don't worry. Somebody steal that. We got your back.
outside of that,
We'll all be in court.
What's the
There you go.
Perrier?
Hey,
We
see,
can
we
call it
got you. There you
Perrier.
So Perrier,
For the
there you
water,
go.
the French water.
that's another one. That's another one. There you go.
But I like the
As
Eiffel
far as
Shower.
The Eiffel Tower is it.
The Eiffel Shower.
Listen.
Shower.
Yeah, that's
Like
right. That's
raining
right.
down on you.
That's true. That's true.
Yes.
That's dope.
We could close out the show on that, man.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead, go ahead, Dream.
There you go.
Close us out on that,
Close
man.
us out, Dream.
No, I was just saying, as far as the Chicago game, I'm in the W bandwagon with Bugs. I don't have a score yet, but I definitely have a win down for that game. But like we always do about this time, I want to thank all you fellas for coming out. It's late tonight, but I think it was great tonight. So thank you again. And like we always do about this time, once a day,
Once a Nick.
always.
Always a Nick. All right, fellas.
So Thursday, what time?
All right, fellas.
Thursday, it'll have to be before the game, but
What
you
time
guys
is
will
it?
have to run it. You guys will
Okay.
have to run it.
Okay.
All right.
Uh,
Dream, I'll circle
All
back
right.
with you so you
Yeah.
can get the credentials to log in.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's set it up. I'll jump in when I can.
Okay.
Usually in Chicago, the games are usually at 8:00. I think the usual
Right.
game. Usually,
Yeah, that's true too.
so we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I won't be getting home until probably 9:00 on Thursday.
Right. So
So
Okay.
so
yeah, I might be around